Dave, just how many of your guys are playing summer ball as opposed to staying home and lifting weights?
Yeah, we've got, it's a good mix. We've got really probably less guys playing summer ball this year than we have in the past due to such a long season. Example, you know, a couple of guys played with Team USA. Their season's over, so they're done. They could have gone on to the Cape, which was, you know, Matt Cronin and Fletch. Fletcher could have gone on to the Cape, but we felt like it'd be best for them just to go home and rest. And instead of going out there, we just think the chance of getting hurt may be greater than them really improving their game. They played a lot of baseball at the highest level, you know, besides professional baseball. So, you know, we've got 4 or 5 pitchers that are out, younger guys. You know, Zebulon Vermillion's out and having a really good summer. You know, a couple kids are also in the California League. Jordan McFarland's out there, and he actually made the All-Star team. He knows that he needs to make a jump to get in that lineup, or, you know, he needs to play. He's getting ready to be a junior. It's time for him to play. So, you know, off the top of my head, I don't know the exact number, but you know, I'm going to say there's about 8 or 9 of them out there right now.
What's like Kenley and some of those guys?
Kenley stayed here, is just lifting and working out, going to school, you know, those type of things. Just played summer ball last year. He really got better just even in his little playing time that he had this past season. We saw a lot of development there because he's probably the hardest worker as far as pregame and practice that we have on the team. So we feel like he'll be ready. You know, I think the at-bats are the only thing that had me concerned on him is he needs more at-bats. So he'll play every day this fall, and we'll try to get him 70, 80 at-bats.
Dave, you mentioned when you spoke in Harrison to the crowd, you mentioned a grad transfer, sound like a hitter. Can you?
Yeah, we signed him. His name's Trevor Ezell, coming in from Southeast Missouri State. Was there 4 years, got his degree, you know, work on his master's. He's from Bryan, Arkansas, and he was their top hitter for every year he played, pretty much, and had a year where he lost, or he got hurt, so he got a red shirt there, and so he's got another year left. He's coming off of, he had to have surgery on his throwing shoulder because it kept popping in and out, so he had to get it tightened up. So he won't throw this fall. Probably won't even might not even get to hit until late fall. But you know, we'll do all we can with him. He's very experienced. That's not an issue there. So hopefully get him rolling where he can help us early. If he's not ready to throw yet, when the season starts full go, then, you know, he can DH for us. Switch hitter, very polished hitter.
What's his position?
Second base.
Coach, what was the conversation like with Keaton McKinney when he told you he kind of decided to retire?
Just, you know, I tried to be real positive with him. You know, the situation is that, you know, he's had to have surgery again on his elbow, and I think that, you know, he's been here 5 years, and, you know, he's had hip surgery, shoulder surgery, or elbow surgery a couple of times, and had his degree. He's kind of, I think him being away from the team pretty much the whole season, and then the long run we had, and he's back home watching, he just felt like he'd pretty much done what he could do, and the chances of getting hurt again are there, plus the arm, the situation with the arm, he wouldn't probably be ready for the 19 season. So then it gets a little difficult. So he just figured that, you know, he would go out and continue to do what he's doing, which is working, and, you know, kind of move on with his life.
Isaiah Campbell, kind of what's he doing this summer, and what's his next step to be kind of a 7-inning pitcher instead of a 4-5?
Yeah, well, that step needs to be taken this fall, and that's was his emphasis, was to rest up a little bit this summer. He's here, taking a class or two, and working with our strength and conditioning coach, and just getting ready for fall ball where he can go out and refine some things and be more consistent, because the stuff's there. We've all seen it. When he's on, he's as good as anybody we had, and you know, hopefully he'll take that step forward now that he's, you know, a year and a half out from the injury. He got a lot of experience this year. It's almost like to us, this is his true junior year. This is the year that he should really elevate his game.
I know it's way out there, but how would you project the possible guys in your rotation, starting rotation?
Yeah, the rotation is probably the biggest unknown for us for the 19 season. You know, Kevin Kopps jumps out at me. He's still here working hard. Had Tommy John last year, like September 30th, somewhere in there. He should be able to pitch some this fall for us. He's in incredible shape. You know, he was a guy that we were planning on being a big part of our team in 18, and then to have that injury in last fall, you know, it was tough on all of us, especially Kevin. But I think he's a guy that has a chance to get in the rotation. Obviously, you know, I feel like Isaiah is going to be in the rotation, and there'll be a couple other guys jump in there. I mean, who's to say? There's a freshman or two that have really good stuff. It's just a matter of mentally they can handle it at this level. So a lot of times the pitching thing is it's kind of between your ears if you've got the talent, and we'll find out who can handle it a little bit. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ifs there. I think Cole Ramage could be a guy. Stuff's really good. He throws 3 pitches for a strike. You know, they'll just let him come in and prove it to us.
Who are the freshmen you're talking about?
I don't know. You know me. I don't like to say a whole lot about freshmen, so I'm not going to say any freshmen. We've got 4 or 5 pitchers that are on campus right now in summer school. Not because they needed it, just because they're trying to get ahead and get acclimated. They work with our strength and conditioning coach as well, and you know, a position player too. So hopefully that'll help some of those guys. We've got some other freshmen that are out playing summer ball, finishing up, and we'll get here in the next probably 3 weeks. So you know, we'll just let that evolve, and we can probably talk about that again.
Cronin, he doesn't want to start, does he? I mean,
yeah, I mean, I think he does want to start, you know, but he needs another pitch. He needs a change-up. So valuable, you know, so valuable at the end of the game. That's what he did with Team USA. Had a pretty good summer. I think he had 4 or 5 outings, 3 or 4 outings, I'm not sure. They only played 17, somewhere around there, 17, 18 games. So he could start. It's just he's so valuable the second half of the game, but if that's what we need to do, that's what we'll do. His stuff is, when he's fresh, it's as good as anybody in the country.
Is Bryce Bond leaving the program?
Sure is. Going to go to JUCO. I don't know. He might go to somewhere else. We have a lot of guys that are leaving the program.
You mentioned Cole Turney. Is that the done deal?
Yeah, he's going to go to junior college. Needs to get some at-bats. Only got like 10 at-bats last year. Really struggled. You know, missed most of his senior year with injury, shoulder, you know, ankle issue. Really struggling this summer. If you look at his numbers, it's been a fight for him. I think, you know, just talking with Cole, it's like he told me he needs to get some confidence, and hopefully he can go somewhere where he can get in the lineup and play every day. I think that's going to be big for him.
Was that his idea, or
probably more ours? Bryce wants to start. We see him as a reliever. You know, just up and down. I mean, there's a lot to it, I guess, and it's what he needs, in my opinion. You know, and I don't know where he's going to end up. He needs to go to a junior college where they can put him on the mound and he can pitch. It's kind of up and down, strike zone, a lot of things jumping around on him there, and just to be able to prove that he's ready to help your team win. You know, he's a guy that, you know, he's got a lot of he has a lot of talent, you know, with arm strength. I just got to be able to take that into the game consistently. So hopefully he picks the right place, and I hope he has a lot of success.
Who are some of the other guys that are leaving? You said
I don't know. You name them, and if you guess one, I'll tell you. I'm not going to go through a list.
Weston Rogers, is he?
Weston Rogers just got married 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, and has his degree, and his injury is forcing him to retire. Let's just say he's going to. Yeah, that's Weston's call.
What about Bolden and Kostichuk?
They're out playing summer ball. Bolden's in the Cape Cod League, and I can't think of where Kostichuk is off the top of my head. I mean, Kostichuk's going to be a junior. He's a guy with a good arm. He's got to learn how. He's got to pitch. He's got to throw strikes, and this is going to be a big fall for him. He needs to make a jump.
You made any headway on the volunteer system?
Yes, we got a volunteer. bringing in Taylor Smart. Right now he's coaching the Santa Barbara Foresters in California. He's 26, 27 years old. Played for Dave Serrano at Tennessee. Also played junior college ball on the West Coast. He's from, I think, the Seattle area. And, just there was a lot of interest in the job. So, I mean, I could go, I'm not going to go into total detail on it, but Division I baseball is, I think next year at this time we might get the opportunity to hire a full-time coach. And have 3 paid assistant coaches, and the volunteer coach will go away. So it was real touchy there. There's a lot of, when I say a lot, there was a few that employed coaches that would have taken this job as a volunteer for a year if I guaranteed them the job next year, and I didn't want to back myself into that corner. Taylor's a guy, like I said, young, up-and-coming guy that, that wasn't a major obstacle for him. He wanted to work in the SEC again. Last year, he helped out at Arizona. He wasn't their volunteer, but he was in with the team and helped run their camps and do whatever he could per the law of the rules, I guess. So I'm just looking forward to getting him on board. And he'll be here probably mid-August. The Santa Barbara team's running away with the league. They're just whipping everybody. So I imagine they're going to be in the playoffs for a while.
Are Opitz and Plunkett playing summer ball?
Opitz is playing. He started out in Alaska, and they had 2 other catchers. When he got there, they kind of were in a little bit of a rhythm. We wanted him playing a lot, and so we moved him to the Jayhawk League, and he's over in Kansas playing now. So we'll see how how that ends up. Plunkett is staying here, just getting ready for fall ball, and he's a guy that he could have signed. We wanted him to come back, and those two will battle it out for the most part.
We're about a month removed from Omaha. How much reflecting have you done just on that run and how everything?
Well, really, I haven't. I mean, I've thought about it here and there. Obviously, it's been so busy with recruiting and trying to get the roster squared away, and the main thing, my focus this summer is making sure that we have the right people in here that fit in with our program and fit in the locker room and those type of things, because I just know how important it is. Talent's great. You got to have talent to win, but you got to have guys that get along and really want to be here, and really the team's their number one interest, and that's been huge for us this summer. But just sitting back and thinking about the season, just really more than anything, kind of miss the team. I mean, what can you say? What a great bunch of guys that show up. I mean, those guys from fall on last year, they were on a mission. They were on a mission to get to the World Series, and I don't think anything besides getting to Omaha was going to be enough. And then, the way they fought through the regular portion of that, just the teams we had to fight through, with Texas Tech, and Florida, kind of like a who's who in college baseball, really. And then playing Oregon State and giving it everything they had. Didn't play real well as far as offensively. I thought we pitched great. But, I've thought about those things and, a play here or there, a pitch here or there. But really, just the last series, it was probably a lot of situations where we just didn't drive in runs. We didn't hit a whole lot, but we had a couple opportunities to chip another run here or there in, and we didn't do it. And, it ended the way it did. But just what a great bunch of guys. So proud of them. So proud of the coaches, the players. I mean, even our whole staff, from the managers. And I told them that after the season ended in the locker room, that just we didn't have to tell them what to do. Starting down with setting up the machines for practice or setting up the field. It was just, we were in a rhythm, and it rolled pretty good. And just so proud of the fans, too. The fans were incredible. I've been to Omaha when LSU's been there, and I used to think, wow, look at this is crazy. Our fans, we were better. And I mean, I never thought I could say that. And, it would have been interesting if LSU would have been there, how that would have turned out. That would have been a battle to get in those stadiums. And but our fans were incredible. They showed up all year at Baum Stadium, on the road, and then obviously in Omaha, and they made everybody proud. And I bet I've gotten 300 texts from people all over the country. I've gotten emails. I've gotten 30 handwritten letters which is kind of unusual today. And they've been anywhere from California, Omaha, Florida. I've even had a couple people from Oregon tell me that they're Razorback fans now. So it's, you know, it's a little bit of reflecting, but, you know, I really think that I'll think about it a little bit later. Just got to get through the summer, got to get the right players here so we have a chance to get back.
How big do you think Nate Thompson was for this team in his first year?
I think he did a great job. You know, what Nate inherited was exactly what I told him when I was called him last year. If you take this job, you're going to get a really good bunch of hitters. And I think when he walked in the door here, he kind of realized that. And then when all of a sudden the players show up and you're dealing with older kids that are kind of set in their ways a little bit, or they've been coached one way, you know, there was a little bit of friction there at first as far as, you know, the older guys, you know, buying into some of the things that he wanted to do. And I told him that would happen. I've been seeing it. I've been around too long, I guess. And the younger guys, they're fine. They love it all. They're like a big sponge. And then they slowly warmed up to Nate, honestly. And it probably took a few weeks into the spring for some of the older guys. And you think about it, some of the older guys didn't get off to very good starts. And then they start asking for a little bit more help. But, you know, he thinks out of the box a little bit. And, you know, there's still a lot of things we need to work on. I love the power aspect. I love the chance, you know, for us to elevate the ball on certain days when the wind's blowing out or just normal days. We've got to, and we've talked about it, we've got to do a better job of taking a walk, and we've got to do a better job of two-strike hitting, and that'll be something that will be emphasized and has already been talked about with the group that left here that's coming back. But we'll put that in this fall and try to, you know, do a better job in that part of hitting. But overall, I think he did a great job for the first year coming in to a team with a lot of expectations and a lot of veteran hitters that, you know, have been coached, some of them by 3 different people now.
What's Hunter Wilson's summer?
He's not playing summer ball. He's probably back down on the farm down there in Spiro with a cowboy hat on and some spurs, working and baling hay. I don't know what he's doing down there, but Hunter's a great kid, great teammate. Going to have a lot of competition again for him this year, and he seems to show up and fight it every year. So, you know, he's just working.
Casey Martin, he obviously had a good year at third. I know he's versatile.
Yeah.
Could you see him going to second, or is he a fixture at third, or kind of what's the deal there?
Well, we already know he can play third. You know, he played shortstop in high school. We're going to give him an opportunity to play short this fall and some second. I think, you know, unless he proves that he can do it. I'm talking about down the road professional baseball, because obviously he's going to have that ahead of him in 2 years. I see him as a middle infielder and second baseman at the next level. But I think at this level, if he can show that you know, he can be consistent, I think he would be a great shortstop, as will Kinley. So I'm going to let those 2 guys battle it out. We've got, you know, Jacob Nesbitt, who we redshirted last year, is coming back, and a couple other high school kids coming in that, you know, played shortstop in their high school and summer ball, but one of them will probably move more to be a third baseman, and the other one's more of a second baseman. So, you know, that's what we'll do with Casey, is let him have that opportunity all fall to play in the middle.
The transfer from SEMO, could he be in the mix at second, or is he more of a...
No, he would be. If his arm's not, if he can throw, he'll be more than in the mix. And so, you know, we're, you know, we may not be done recruiting either. We still have time. So maybe something else is going to happen. We'll see how that goes. We'll know in a while.
How'd you feel like your recruiting class came through the draft? I mean, you obviously lost, you know, a couple good players.
We lost 2, and we knew we were going to lose Josh Bro. He wanted $1 million. We knew halfway through the season that he was going to get $1 million, and he ended up getting like $1.5 million. So we figured that he wouldn't be here, and then we lost a pitcher, Beasley, out of South Arkansas, and he's a guy that big kid, really good arm. We kind of figured that he would sign. Was a guy that if he'd have come in here, we think that it would have been a year or 2 out. Not a lot of command there yet, and but a lot of upside. And sometimes there's guys that you know, if you really take a step back, that maybe need to be in the minor leagues, and he felt like that might be the best step for him, and we're happy for him. But as far as the class coming through, you know, we feel good about it. We've had a couple of guys in our class that we signed in the fall, more than a couple, that, are going to go to junior college because there's too many people in front of them. Maybe there was grade issue or have to wait all summer to get right. And, you just don't want to bring in too many kids or even one that you don't know if they're going to make it academically. I don't want to have that issue here. And, then a couple on the other side that, we've just talked with them and felt like with what we have coming back and maybe transferring in, it might be best to go to JUCO for a year or two. So we've tried to cut down some of the numbers. And on the other side, we got a few walk-on pitchers and a couple of walk-on players that, that they'll be out there this fall, but maybe realistically they're looking at a red shirt, and they've been told that in advance.
Is Connor Nolan the only dual sport guy that you've got?
Yeah, and that'll be, we'll just see how that goes. Obviously, we feel like Connor, if he was just playing baseball, he'd be one of our top recruits and right in the middle of it. I think we'll see how it progresses for him with the football team and what his role is there. Is he redshirted? Is he the starter or somewhere in between? And hopefully we can get him down there. Then you're talking spring football. You're talking a pitcher who throws the football. It's a lot of stress on an arm. We'll see how it goes this first year.
So his status is just pretty much up in the air for you next year?
Yeah, well, I've got him on our roster, I've got him listed on our roster, and we have plans for him. But it's I don't know. He's on a football scholarship. If he wasn't on a football scholarship, he'd be on a baseball scholarship. I would have given him a baseball scholarship. So we'll just see how that all plays out.